Hello people, welcome to my channel, welcome to another video. This is my review of the game which took place on Saturday between Tottenham Hotspur and Chelsea in the Premier League at the Wembley Stadium, with kickoff being at 5:30 p.m. UK time. So what I'm going to do for you guys in terms of this review is that firstly I'm going to give you the lineup in which Maurizio Sarri fielded at the start of the game. Then I'll give you my thoughts on the game itself, obviously being broken down into the first half and then the second half. And lastly I'll give you my thoughts on Chelsea's upcoming fixtures against PAOK and Fulham. So without further ado, let's get straight into this review. So starting off with the lineup, as I said, and breaking it down into the formation and then the personnel. The formation was a 4-3-3 with that deep line playmaker involved. So getting into the personnel, Maurizio Sarri went with Kepa in goal. He went with the standard Premier League back four for Chelsea, and that is, from left of Cesar Azpilicueta, Antonio Rudiger, David Luiz, and Marcos Alonso. He went with a midfield that deep line playmaker role with Mateo Kovacic and N'Golo Kante just in front of him, and in the front three again from right to left, Maurizio Sarri fielded Willian in the right wing spot, and I thought that Chelsea they didn't turn up in the first half at all. Um, Tottenham pressed us. They stopped the fullbacks from getting forward, um, particularly down our left-hand side. So Eden Hazard and Marcos Alonso's left-hand side. Eden Hazard on Marcos Alonso's side. Sorry, butchered that. But yeah, that's also exactly where the first goal came from. David Luiz concedes a free kick, stupid foul. I cannot remember who it was on, but yes, we conceded a free kick, and I believe it was Ericsson who whipped the ball in. It was a really good ball. Dele Alli gets a header on, and it goes over Kepa, who had absolutely no chance. You cannot blame Kepa for that. Also, I'm just gonna add this: the defending for that first goal was atrocious. We could have we just let the Tottenham players attack the ball. I'm sorry for that. Messages are just coming. I forgot to mute my mic. But yes, that was the first goal for Tottenham. The second goal for Tottenham was even worse. Again, it was David Luiz's fault, and also the fault of our midfielders. They let Kane get into space in between the lines. Kane takes a shot. David Luiz was in Kepa's line of vision, and he moved out of the way just after Kane took the shot, which meant that Kepa had no chance of saving it. It's not Kepa's fault. And for those of you who are blaming Kepa, it was not his fault. He couldn't have done anything about that. David Luiz should have blocked that. But that was the score at half time. It was 2-0 to Tottenham Hotspur. But the overall first half performance was diabolical. Getting into the second half, it didn't get any better. Although I did say in my reaction video, sorry, that we did start the second half fairly well, which we did. Although we didn't really attack their goal too much. Um, we didn't really take our chance to get back into the game either. So that led to Tottenham getting their third goal, and I think it was Dyer who put the ball into Son. I cannot remember who put the ball in, but Son ended up with the ball in the right wing spot, in the right wing position, shall I say, and he was up against Jorginho because Marcos Alonso was beaten, and Son just blew him away. He blew him to pieces. Son was never gonna get outran by Jorginho. Never. Jorginho is just not athletic, and I'm gonna get into my thoughts on Jorginho's performance later on in this video. But Son's goal was absolutely world class. He breezed past Jorginho. David Luiz, who should have covered David Luiz earlier, didn't cover him. I mean, that David Luiz, who should have covered Jorginho earlier, didn't cover him. Sorry, don't know where my mind's going. Son just takes Luiz and he taps it into the bottom corner, and it was a good goal. And at that point, it was game over. It was game over. There was no way back, because we were just not doing anything. We were atrocious. We were not getting the ball up to Alvaro Morata. And I'm just going to say now, for those of you who are blaming Alvaro Morata, you're wrong again. He didn't get the service. He was trying. Whenever he did get service, his shots were decent. I mean, you can see how hard he was trying to score a goal. So for me, I'm not. I think that Morata is exempt from any criticism because he was the best. Out for me, he was him and Hazard were the best in our front three. I thought that Willian had an atrocious game, but Morata did try. So don't slate him. Don't slate him. But Yeah, those were Tottenham Hotspur's 3 goals. Our goal was a good goal, but the problem is we should have done that a lot earlier. Um, Aspilicueta gets the ball in the right wing position. He crosses it in, and Olivier Giroud just heads it into the top corner. It was a good goal, but at that point it was too late. We scored that goal in the 85th minute. I mean, if you watch my reaction video, I'll probably put a link down. Probably put a link to it down in the description box for you guys to watch. So yeah, I did say that it was far too late and that I genuinely didn't care that we scored because of the performance. We were atrocious, and I'm gonna get into Jorginho's performance specifically because I don't know why Maurizio Sarri keeps putting him in the middle. Um, Jorginho, I love him. He's a Chelsea player, so I'm gonna stick by him and hope that he does the best. But his performance on Saturday was diabolical. I think that him and David Luiz were the worst players on the pitch. Jorginho, the middle of our midfield three, because he's not athletic. Whoops, my connection just went there. But what I'm saying is that Jorginho should not be playing in the middle of our midfield three because he cannot defend, he cannot tackle, and he's not athletic. And there's a player who always plays ahead of him who is like that. N'Golo Kante. He's very athletic. He's quick. He can tackle. He can pass the ball. And if you think that Kante cannot put a ball over the top to the forwards, you're wrong. I've seen him do it many times, but Kante should play there because he can actually defend and he can start attacks from his long part his from his good passing range. Jorginho, I don't know where he should play because he's just not athletic. I mean, he's good at dictating play, but if you're getting knocked out of the game by players like Sigurdsson, no, not Sigurdsson, sorry, by players like Ericsson, Dele Alli, Sissoko, Dyer. I'm not saying that they're bad, by the way. I'm just saying that if you're getting locked out of the game by those lot, then change it up. And this is why I get into my thoughts on Maurizio Sarri. I thought that was his fault. Do you know what? I didn't understand why he brought off Morata and brought on Pedro and then took off Willian and then he brought on Barkley for Kovacic. I mean, the changes should have come a lot sooner. I thought that he should have changed that at half time. I think that Willian should have gone off for Pedro and Morata should have gone off for Giroud. I don't know why he put on. I don't know why he made Hazard a false nine because that was never going to work. I don't know why Willian, Hazard, and Pedro were all on the pitch at this time. It just made no sense to me. But who's in? I think that Maurizio Sarri made some stupid decisions on Saturday, and I think as soon as I saw Pedro come on for Morata, I knew the game was done. I knew it was done because at that point we didn't really have a focal point. We had no one to lump the ball into. So what was the point of Jorginho? I mean, Jorginho he was having the worst game in a Chelsea shot so far, and he still kept him on. It just shows that Maurizio Sarri has some sort of favoritism. He favors Jorginho far too much. And if I was Fabregas, I'd be thinking my colleague here, my midfield colleague, is having the worst game in a Chelsea shirt so far, and I have experience of playing against Tottenham, and he's not bringing me on. If I was him, I'd be thinking like that. I'd be thinking to leave because it's not fair on him. He deserves to be playing more, and I think that he should have been brought on, or at least he should have been brought on because Jorginho was just terrible. He was terrible. Like I said earlier, him and David Luiz were the worst players on the pitch. But anyways, that's what I think of the game. Getting into my thoughts on Chelsea's upcoming fixtures, and firstly against PAOK, I think that we can do it against PAOK, but we just have to play a lot better than we did on Saturday. And obviously Maurizio Sarri is gonna change the lineup, gonna change the team. Hopefully he'll start Fabregas, and I won't be surprised if he doesn't start Fabregas because he loves Jorginho far too much. But that's my thoughts for the game on PAOK. Actually, no, I'm just going to say that I think we can win. It will be difficult because PAOK did give us a very good game at their ground in Greece. But yeah, hopefully we win. Now, getting into my thoughts on Chelsea's upcoming fixture against Fulham in the Premier League, which will be played at Stamford Bridge and is obviously a West London derby. I think that will be a tough game because we're up against the former manager of ours in Claudio Ranieri. So I think that, and Fulham in the last two games have been playing really well. They beat Southampton 3-2 on the weekend, so there's nothing that says that they can't put in a performance against us and maybe get their first win at Stamford Bridge since 2006. And that wouldn't be surprising if we were to play the way we did on Saturday, on Sunday, as in this Sunday. But yeah, that's the end of my thoughts of the game and my thoughts of Chelsea's upcoming fixtures. I'm just going to say credit to Tottenham. They fully deserved the win. They were by far the superior side on Saturday. They made us look like a semi-pro team. We were that bad and they were that good. And yeah, you lot deserve it. You lot have deserved some happiness against us. You lot deserve your happiness against us. I think that you lot have been terrorized by us in the past. So maybe it's time. Maybe this is your time for you lot to get some wins against us and get some good performances against us, which is fair enough. But terrible from Chelsea. You lot know my thoughts on us. Alright, as of now, we were terrible. But yeah, that's the end of my video. I'm gonna go now before I run out of things to say. As you can clearly tell, I am. So see you all very soon. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you're new. Come on, you Blues, and peace.